What's up? This is Jax from Jax Media. Here to talk about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. This will be a spoiler review. If you may know that I will be talking about this a ton on my channel, so Star Wars is definitely something prevalent in my content. So there's going to be plenty more of talking about The Last Jedi. That's for sure, because there was a lot to swallow in that movie. And like most people, I think a lot of people just want to kind of just go over it and just hammer out all the details, see what this movie actually was. So to start off, I'm gonna be filming a lot of content today, so mind me if my head gets I go off topic a little bit or something like that. Here we go. So this is gonna be my spoiler review. It's hard to say if I'm totally 100% oh, I love this movie. Definitely with The Force Awakens, I loved the movie. I thought it was a good movie. I mean, it wasn't the best Star Wars movie I've ever seen, but it still was something that was definitely tangible, way better than the prequels, and it served its purpose. So it was good for that. However, in The Last Jedi, there was a lot of parts I liked and a lot more that I hated. And I think number one thing that I want to point out, I think Disney, I believe, I have to research this. I'll search it up now while I'm talking. But I think Disney might have learned their mistake with giving, you can't start a trilogy and just have one director do it. And that's something. And now that could work if the trilogy isn't as huge as Star Wars. I think, in my personal opinion, because if I'm a director, right? Let's say I'm a director and I'm gonna be, I get this awesome oh yeah, you're gonna be able to do a Star Wars movie. I'm gonna go all out, and I feel like Rian Johnson did go all out for this movie. So, it's not a knock against him, but it's at least have one of the head writers or co-director be you can't just switch it up like that, because everyone's got it's not going to fit a trilogy, right? You know what I mean? And some people could argue, oh, the original trilogy, there was two to three directors on that, but it's still Lucas was present though in the background of it. You know what I mean? And I felt like this one kind of got everything in this movie was undoing everything set up by The Force Awakens, and that's not right. You can't kill. Oh God, I'm gonna get into it a little bit more here, but the thing that kills me is the fact that you killed some characters that shouldn't have been killed, and the only reason why I'm saying that is because if you look at my two biggest moments in this movie were the death of Snoke and the death of Captain Phasma. Now I read some of the Star Wars books, but I haven't read the Phasma book. But I've had someone who has and told me that it made Captain Phasma look like a badass, and they couldn't wait to see this movie just to see how badass she really is, because the story in the book basically presented her as being this really badass character. However, this was not the case. Just like The Force Awakens, they failed to really use her. It felt oh yeah, and here, kind of like a throw-in for Finn, which is fine. You could have a reoccurring character stand off, at least for 2 movies, with one of your protagonists, but the thing is, it's it didn't feel right, because we don't see her win. We don't really get to see her be cool for us to be oh yeah, you know what I mean? It would be, it's like a losing battle every time. That's not really interesting for us, fan wise. And they could have did something really cool there between the two. And now, however, I thought it was decent that the whole Rebel scum line at the end there, I thought that was fine. You know what I mean? It fit, and it was kind of cool. I thought that moment was pretty cool between them. And of course, when her helmet cracks and you see her eye, I thought that was also a really cool moment. However, it just feels like she was such a waste of a character and just such a throwaway. And, like, that's not the way you want to set up that character. And now I'm just saying for the two new characters here that I'm going to go over in depth that really bugged me with The Last Jedi. Especially Snoke. Like, what the hell, Disney? Like, why would you do that? How would you allow Rian Johnson to kill off Snoke? Like, first of all, I don't even know where the next movie is going to pick up. I mean, you still need a bad guy, and yeah, you could say Kylo Ren, but I don't think that's enough. They didn't do a good enough job to, like, really boast that Kylo Ren is like this badass, because he's really not. And, like, you can see he's still got a lot of errors in his ways, and, like, you already kind of see Rey's overpowered him, and it's like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't think that was a good idea. Plus, dressing him up like Liberace, that wasn't a cool idea either. I don't know who the hell was like. And now I get it. You don't want to see every Sith leader does not need to be, dressed in a black cloak, and, like, mix it up. I'm totally for that. I get that 100%. However, bright gold might not be the quickest thing. Maybe give him a little red in there. Red and black, maybe. Something. Don't have him dressed up like a drag queen. So, like, I didn't like that part of it. But if you're going to make him eccentric like that, give us a little backstory on who the fuck this guy is. Sorry, that's my dog over there, and he's moving around there shaking his collar. However, just give us a little bit of a backstory with Snoke. Like, we just got robbed of someone who was built up to be this cool character who's really just another throwaway character like Captain Phasma. It's like, here, J.J. Abrams started this, and Rian Johnson said, nope, we are not fucking with that. Throwing it in the fucking trash compactor. We're saying goodbye. Screw you, Force Awakens. So that's my little rant on that. As far as, like, little things go, the whole last scene at the Salt Planet, Finn's part was kind of just stupid, and, like, I thought for a good character arc in this movie would be to actually let him fly into whatever the hell that was. That was, the cannon that, like, can blow off the door to the salt mines. Let him fly into it. Let him die. Give us something. Give a character arc. The only other character who had an actual arc in this story, I feel like, is Poe. If it wasn't for Poe, I mean, oh man, like, and he wasn't even that. He was crucial to the story, especially in the earlier parts. But don't get me wrong, it's my favorite character to come from The Force Awakens, hands down. But it's like, man, just give us something. And that was, like, the big points for me that really just dug into me as a Star Wars fan. And it got me, because it's like, if you let Finn fly into the cannon, which is called the cannon, because for some reason I don't know it off the top of my head already. But the cannon, if he flew into the cannon, he would have died a very heroic death, saving the Resistance. He would have been the hero. It would have made so much sense. Now, I know you're trying to play a love story now into this, which is fine. Star Wars is known for love stories, and I get it. However, it's just like, it's like, come on, man. Like, that would have been such a perfect movie moment, big movie moment, especially for a character to complete his arc of, really sticking it to the Empire and saving the rebellion. It would have just been really cool. And I feel like that's just, there's just been missed opportunity as I'm going through this. And how the fuck can you kill Admiral Akbar off like that and not give him an on-screen death? I thought that was bullshit. Plus, Mary Poppins, Leia, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that was also a ton of bullshit. Like, come on. Having her fly, like, I get it. Like, you want to show that she's got some kind of force power. I get that. You want to show that she's got the Force, but not that way. That's just so stupid. I don't get that. It's just so stupid.